What's up, guys? Rob from the Razor's Edge here, and we're gonna be doing a little honing video. This is my filly. I've already killed the edge on this thing, and I used my LPB slurry stone to build a slurry on this Les Petas coticule. We're just kind of checking this one out today. I'm gonna flip the light on over here, and I've already killed this edge, and been playing around with this stone a little bit. It's on borrow from Matt at Griffith because I wanted to check it out, and I just want to see what kind of finish it puts on this blade, and then I'm going to shave with it. So as of right now, we're just setting my bevel here. I know this is a very slow stone, so setting this bevel on this might not be the best idea, but I'm doing it anyway. I was concerned that this would be a little more like my Legris fast cutter, but it's a much harder coticule than my Legris for sure. So I got a good feeling this is going to be a nice finisher. So probably should have showed you guys, but I already tried doing the packing peanut because I killed the edge, and there's definitely not a set bevel on this right now. So got a little bit of work to do. And you can see it's a slow cutter because my slurry is not turning gray very quickly. I'm torquing into that bevel just a little bit and giving it a little bit of pressure, but it's not a super fast stone. It's quite a slow stone actually. So starting to get some light gray in the slurry. So at least I know it's cutting, but it definitely cuts slowly, which I'm okay with. I mean, it's not ideal for making a fast honing video, but when it comes to honing, I'd rather take my time and make sure things are going the way I want them to than to rush through it. So let's see if I'm getting any kind of action on the popcorn so far. I call it popcorn, but it's packing peanut. Oop. We're popping, not at the heel, but we're starting to pop here, so heading in the right direction. I pretty much plan on doing a one stone hone on this Les Petas coticule so that I can see everything from bevel set to finish. And I can already tell you right now this thing's going to be a good finisher. But in the future I will probably set my bevel on something else just to speed it up. So this is more of a test video and a test honing than anything for this particular stone. I decided to pull the tape on this particular one because I feel like the apex is starting to get out of line with the spine. So I really want everything to be back in alignment to what I would consider the factory bevel. And the only way to really do that is to do it without tape. So as much as I hate spine wear, sometimes it's kind of necessary. And it already feels to me at this point like it's starting to glide at the apex instead of at the back of the bevel, so I feel like I'm getting somewhere here. Tried to make a series of videos on this yesterday, but I just kept getting interrupted. So I gave up on it yesterday and figured I'd jump on it today. Definitely getting some action here. Oop, broke my peanut. Feels like it could just use a little bit more, and then I'll start to do the dilution. It's starting to feel real nice against the stone, almost grabby. I gotta say though, the more I play around with the stone, the more I like it. So now that I know that it's pushing into that packing peanut, might not be 100% yet, but I'm going to start to lighten up my touch just a little bit. So as I start to dilute, I start to lighten up my touch and the pressure just a little bit. I start to not torque towards that apex as much, and I just let the stone do the work. And all I have to do is guide it. Oop. Sorry about that, guys. Hit the camera. Really starting to enjoy the feeling of the stone. It doesn't quite feel as hard as my arc. It kind of feels like the hybrid side of my Les lat. It's a very hard coticule, however you want to pronounce it. It's funny, every time that you add a little water to dilute, the feeling of the blade against the stone just changes just a little bit, and then it slowly starts to feel like it did before you added the water. Yeah, I'm gonna check this on the packing peanut again real quick, because that is pretty diluted at this point. See if I got a fresh one over here. It's going in pretty easy. for the heck of it, let's do a little bit of a hair test here. It's grabbing, it's cutting, but not the way I want it to. So I'm gonna add just a little bit more of a slurry here. Oops. Yeah, this stone's very new and it's very hard, so I'm still breaking it in. And I don't want to build up too much of a slurry here. Just a little milky slurry, just enough to finish out this delicate. And then I'm gonna go to water. Just looking at my undercut, and it's looking pretty good. So I feel like we got a good bevel. I feel like we're starting to clean that bevel up nicely. We should be moving on to polishing pretty soon here. Test one more time, and I'm going to use these other packing peanuts that are super light. I know if it goes into those easily. It should go into these pretty easily. Seems to be going in pretty easily, so I'm going to switch over to water here. Just do some water passes. Nice and light. I'm actually feeling some resistance, so I'm actually going to pull out my little spray bottle that's got some soapy water, just to give it a little bit of a cushion. And that instantly feels glassy, so that water with the soap is just going right up onto the blade the second it hits the apex, so I feel like we're in pretty good shape here. So when I get to this stage, I'm giving it no pressure at all. I'm just letting the blade ride against the stone. Let the stone do the polishing at this point. And after I do my test shave with this blade today, I'll decide if I need to take it back to the stone with oil, but I have a feeling I'm not going to need to. This is one of those coticles that'll get you over the 10K range easily. I think this is one of those ones that'll get you into the 15K plus range with oil. I mean, it just feels glassy, like I'm riding on an arc. As Sean Staplefeld would say in Arkansas. Sorry, Sean, had to say it. It's just starting to feel super, super glassy, which is a good thing. Definitely liking everything I'm seeing here. The way it's just squeegeeing the water and soap right up onto the blade. It's a decent undercut going on, so I got a feeling today's shave with this is going to be pretty nice, but I guess we'll find out. Happy to see Greg Gallant's video where he was pushing the edge on his Puma, and then did a shave video with it, and he looks like he was pretty successful, which I always like to see. I was real happy with Joe from Subtle Arts video where he did a successful one stone hone with his coticule. It's always really nice to see other guys having success with something they may not have had great success with, you know, previously. It's always gives me a good feeling when I see that, you know. Yeah, this edge is starting to feel very, very glassy, which is what I look for. Alright, we're going to stop there for a second. Get this blade nice and dry. And I'm not even going to do the packing peanut at this point. Oh yeah, oh yeah, she's popping hairs. So probably gonna need to be stropped out, but we're definitely pretty close. I don't know if you can see all that dry skin and hair on there, but we're definitely right in the range that I'd like to be. I'm gonna do a couple more passes here. I'm just gonna rinse this off now that I have hair all over it. Add a little more soapy water to it. So I know this blade's already to a point where once I get it all stropped out, it'll be HHT no problem. I mean, checking the HHT on my arm gives me a good read. But I go for my girl's hairbrush and grab a piece of her hair, and her hair is pretty fine. So if it'll HHT with that, I know that it's going to give me a great shave. I just want to polish this edge up just a little more than it is before I call it 100%. Yeah, I wasn't sure I was gonna keep this stone, but now that I've played around with it for a couple days, I think it might be a keeper. I also have an LGB that I'm going to do the same thing probably later on with my Dovo Barbarossa, because I'd like to get that one just a little sharper than it is. I mean, it's in good shape. It's you know, shaving just fine, but especially for my straight razors that I call edgers, I like them super sharp. That way, when I'm edging around my goatee, I don't have any issues. do a couple reverse passes here. And then I'm going to go forward again. It definitely has a feeling to it like my arc. This might be actually one of the hardest carticles I've ever honed on, which is pretty cool. So I'm going to test it on the packing peanut one more time, and it should go into that pretty darn easily. So let's find out. Yep, 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 yep. At this point, this packing peanut's pretty toasted, but I know what I'm looking for, so yeah, I'd say that that's good to go. It just needs to be stropped out, and I'll be shaving with it. I'm gonna see what I can do to link those two videos together, so I don't have to load up two different videos. And yeah, I'd have to say that that's pretty much right where I want it. So I will see you guys at the shave.